Hey there, 8th graders. Welcome back. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here with us today. We're going to jump right into a super fascinating lesson on how to navigate a world that is, frankly, completely full of persuasion. Whether you realize it or not, every single day, people are trying to convince you of something. So today, we're going to learn exactly how they do it. And more importantly, we're going to see how you can become a really sharp, discerning thinker, someone who sees right through the tricks and builds incredibly strong arguments of your own. Let's get started. Okay, let's dive into this. Have you ever been talked into doing something? Think about it for a second. Maybe a friend convinced you to trade your absolute favorite video game. Or maybe a flashy commercial made you literally certain you needed this one specific brand of sneakers. Or perhaps you found yourself totally agreeing with a politician or a speaker you saw online. How did they actually do it? Like, what specific words did they use? Well, today, we are putting on our detective's lens to look really closely at the invisible forces that shape our decisions. Here's a quick roadmap for today's explainer. We're starting off at the power of persuasion. Then we'll look at pulling at the heartstrings, sticking to the facts, and striking the perfect balance. After that, it's time to practice, and we'll wrap the whole shebang up with the godly learner. Go ahead and grab your notebooks because we are building a serious writer's toolkit today. All right, Section 1, the power of persuasion. And moving right along to Section 2, pulling at the heartstrings. So, understanding persuasion is honestly like having a superpower against manipulation. And the very first tool in our writer's toolkit is called an emotional appeal, or if you want to use the classic Greek term, pathos. Pathos uses really specific language, vivid imagery, or compelling stories to make you feel something: happiness, fear, pride, sadness, hope, you name it. Why do writers do this? Well, because our emotions are incredibly powerful motivators. When a writer successfully creates empathy, you aren't just reading words on a page anymore, right? You are personally invested in the outcome. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly how it works. Think about this phrase for a second. Every year, thousands of puppies are abandoned. Help us save them. I mean, instantly, you're picturing a sad, lonely little dog, aren't you? You feel a tug of sadness and you just want to help. Or imagine reading a sentence like, "Imagine a child going to bed hungry tonight." It instantly creates empathy. The writer isn't using some complicated academic argument here. They are speaking directly to your heart, using your natural compassion to persuade you to act. Now, let's switch gears. Section 3, sticking to the facts. Here's the thing, though. Feelings alone can definitely lead us astray if they aren't anchored in reality. Enter the logical appeal, or logos. While pathos targets the heart, logos goes straight for the brain. It relies entirely on cold, hard facts, statistics, and concrete evidence to appeal to your sense of reason. If you want to prove a point definitively, logos is your absolute solid foundation. It's the undeniable proof that an argument needs to actually stand up to scrutiny. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how immediately convincing numbers can be. Take a look at this data. Over 75% of students who study in groups score higher on tests compared to the 25% who study alone. See? There's no sad story here, no dramatic language. It is simply an academic statistic presenting a proven reality that appeals directly to your reason. Bottom line, if you want to score higher, logic dictates you should probably study in a group. Here's another great example for you. Walking just 30 minutes a day reduces the risk of heart disease by 40%. Now, telling you that exercise makes you feel good is an emotional appeal. It's nice, but it's pathos. But giving you this concrete 40% statistic, that is pure logic, cementing the whole argument with undeniable facts. All right, on to Section 4, striking the perfect balance. So we've got pathos for the heart and logos for the head. Which one is better? Well, actually, the most effective writing uses both. Think of persuasion kind of like a set of scales. On one side, emotional persuasion brings compassion, but without truth, it can be highly manipulative. People can totally use your feelings to trick you. On the other side of the scale, cold logic brings evidence, but ignoring human compassion just feels empty and disconnected. To be truly persuasive and honest, you need both sides to be perfectly balanced. Let's move to and see how this builds a perfectly balanced argument in the real world. Check out this quote. In the last decade, food insecurity has risen by 12%. That's millions of families struggling. We can change this by donating to local food banks. Did you catch what the writer did there? They proved the problem is real with a logical appeal, that hard 12% statistic. But then they connected it to an emotional appeal. Millions of families struggling. Mixing concrete data with the human element creates a remarkably strong, well-balanced message. Now, as we navigate all these different types of appeals, we really need a standard to measure them against. Philippians chapter 4, verse 8 provides the ultimate filter for our minds. It says, "Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, think about such things." When someone is trying to persuade you, ask yourself, is this true? That tests the logic. Is this noble and right? Well, that tests the emotion. This verse is our ultimate, rock-solid standard for evaluating any persuasive argument we hear, and honestly, any argument we write ourselves.
Section 5. Time to practice?
All right, my junior detectives, here are your 5 homework challenges. Number 1, define emotional appeal in your own words, and give me a fresh example. Number 2, define logical appeal, and give an example of that. Number 3, explain why balancing both is so important. Number 4, find a real-world article or ad that uses both effectively. And number 5, this is my personal favorite, create 1 emotional appeal and 1 logical appeal to support this claim. Students should have a longer lunch break. Good luck making a logical case for that one. Honestly, feel free to pause the explainer right here so you can copy this list down into your notes.
And finally, Section 6, the godly learner. So, the crucial point is connecting these academic skills directly to who you are. Here at HeroesMart Academy, we intertwine biblical morality with your education. Because, frankly, education without morality can actually hurt. Think about it for a second. If you learn all the incredible tools of persuasion, but you lack a moral compass, you could use those tools to manipulate or deceive people. Your intelligence should equip you to make wise, God-honoring choices, not just make you more capable of getting what you want.
The Apostle Paul tells us in Romans 8:6-7 that keeping the mind spiritually minded leads to life and peace. As you grow smarter, as your reading and writing skills become more advanced, your responsibility to use those gifts for good also grows. So I really want to encourage you to aggressively pursue academic excellence. Be the best writer and the sharpest thinker you can possibly be. But as you do it, keep your mind fiercely centered on God, on truth, on wisdom, and on making righteous choices.
I'm going to leave you with this final provocative thought. You now know exactly how the mechanics of persuasion work. You know how to spot the logic, and you know how to feel the emotion. So, how will you use your knowledge today to make wise, God-honoring choices? When you're scrolling the news, when you're watching an ad, or when you sit down to write your next essay, how will you ensure that truth and goodness are leading the way? Let that marinate as you tackle your homework. Have a wonderful day, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next explainer.